Hello again, this is Wanda, your positive NLP guru. So I'm going to teach now about the power of mind control. This is one of the most, what should I say, controversial topic of all, I say. But I think this is one of the most liberating things that I went through. When I realized that I have the power to control my mind, and the moment I was able to control that, I became happier. I become less stressed. I'm not frustrated anymore because I stopped, being in control of everything, but I only started to control myself. Okay, let me tell you more. I want you to know that your mind is the greatest gift from God. This is true. If you remember watching the video of Jeremy Bennett, he can say the mind is the greatest computer ever invented. Up to now, nobody can replicate that. It is responsible for the operation of every cell in your body. It is responsible to make sure that everything is functioning, your heart is beating, your body is at the right temperature. And the great thing is that if you can also have complete control of the things that is in your mind, you'll be more peaceful. And one is one of my favorites, as what Lao Tzu said, if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. This has happened to me, and this is what I'm going to share you. When I corrected my mind, how really my life fall into the right place. So if you have read this book, this is one of my favorite books of all times, Think and Grow Rich. This is one of the evergreen books that has sold millions of copies. It was written in 1937, even before the discovery of NLP, surprisingly. NLP was only discovered in the 1970s, but this guy, Napoleon Hill, he's an author. What Napoleon Hill did, he studied the stories of 500 successful people, including Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and he summarized what are the success principles of these people. Get hold of that book. That book is mind-blowing and it's very good. But if I just may summarize for you, what does Napoleon Hill said there? Napoleon Hill clearly said that when we were born, we are gifted with two envelopes. Now, the good thing is that two envelopes is a blessing and a penalty. And these are the blessings that you will acquire if you take control of your mind. So you're going to have sound health, peace of mind, labor of love of your own choice, freedom from fear and worry, a positive mental attitude, material riches of your own choice and quantity. But on the other hand, failure to take control of your mind will give you ill health, fear and worry, indecision and doubt, frustration and discouragement throughout life, poverty and want, a whole flock of evil consisting of envy, greed, jealousy, anger, hatred, and superstition. You wouldn't believe, but in the past, I've suffered all the penalties that Napoleon Hill was saying. I was telling I was very sickly. Every month, I'm going to be sick because of so much pressure that I have. And then I realized, as Jeremy Bennett was saying, nothing can cause you stress. And I was like, how can I do that? How can I let go of all the things that stress me? I think what also is awakening for me is that once you change your response, then you will never be stressed. Like, for example, there used to be a lot of negativity because there's a lot of people who will try to pull you down. There are a lot of people who speak negatively, and that impacts you also. And I think when I started to realize I cannot change people, I can only change my reaction towards them. When I started to stay back and stay away from that emotion of being affected of, how people are doing things, how people are doing things negatively, how people are saying things negatively, I stopped absorbing that. The moment somebody speaks negative of me, the moment somebody speaks negatively of somebody, or whenever I hear any negative thoughts, I start to write and tell myself, I choose to let go of these negative emotions and things that is not helping me and it's not going to help me in the future. So that is really helpful. You cannot avoid it. The sad thing is that we live in a negative world. Sometimes you just call somebody and then out of nowhere that person is in a bad mood and saying, I mean, not speaking to you respectfully. So sometimes it also happens. Somebody talks to me, I lift the phone and ask like, what is the problem of this person? He talks to me like crap. So what I do after that exercise, after that talk, I will have a deep breath. I'll do my inhale. I will inhale God's love and I will exhale all these fears and worries. And I will also write in my small notebook that I always carry. I will say there, I choose to be kind to unkind people because they need it the most. Then I will feel peaceful. Next thing, fear and worry. In the past, I always have a lot of fears and worries. I don't know about everything. I am worried that I might fall into accident. I'm worried about my kids. I have so many. I have fear of the dark. I have fear of heights. I have fear of so many things to the point that I remember before I did the NLP, I always have problems with sleeping. I always have problems with sleeping because my mind will keep on thinking about what might have gone wrong, what will happen bad, and it's really mind-boggling. But again, when I started thinking of what is it to worry about, and the moment you choose to stop worrying and the moment you choose to believe that something right is going to happen, it also changes you. So when I started to shift my mind and think of, I am not gonna worry because I know that God is in control of my life, of our lives, and everything will be fine. And when I started to see the good things that is happening in my life, I think I became more peaceful when my faith in myself and in God become bigger than my fears and worries. I was able to sleep peacefully. Like before, when I lay down, it's gonna take me hours sometimes to sleep. But now, as soon as I lay down, oh, I'm gonna be snoring afterwards. Frustration and discouragement through life. I used to have a lot of this frustration and discouragements because I think it's also because I want to control how my kids do things. I want them to do like this. I want my staff to be like this. You always want things to be done your way. But I think one of the things that I appreciate now is that we are all unique. My way is different from your way. So my kids, even if they're both girls, they will have different personalities. So I have to deal with them differently also. The moment I stop myself from being always in control, I think that gave me peace. At the end of the day, I always tell myself I cannot control people. I cannot change time. I cannot change any event, but I can always control my emotions towards that. So sometimes if I feel very upset, I'll do, especially if something happened that I don't want to happen. So if my daughter did something that I really don't like, I'm gonna inhale, exhale first. Then I'm gonna ask the question, what do you think does mommy feel now? And then they will also think of, oh, what have I done wrong? Or what should we do now? I mean, I became more peaceful. Poverty and want. Before, I used to think that money is scarce. But then I realized there's so much abundance in life. There's no scarcity in money, really. As Zig Ziglar said, the lack of time is not the problem. The lack of direction is your problem. I think the moment you're very clear with what you want in life and the moment you decide to commit that you want to do something, you become unstoppable. And the moment you also realize that money is not your enemy, that money is abundant, it will come to you naturally. And later I will share to you what are those concepts that you have about money that is actually preventing it from coming to you also. A whole flock of evil consisting of envy, greed, jealousy, anger, hatred, and superstition. This is true. In the past, I have so many superstitions that I cannot explain. My life is like superstition rule book. Like I cannot do this. I cannot even cut my nails on Tuesdays or Fridays because it might have something. I cannot give money in night time. There's so many things I cannot do before just because I believe so that it will harm me. But then when you start to realize that and question those beliefs and release like, oh, I don't think that's true or that's helpful. When you stop believing in those superstitions that you have in your mind, everything also becomes different. And before I used to believe that why other people are different, why people are very lucky compared to me, why why are their lives better? I think when you also stop comparing yourself with others, you'll feel more peaceful. At the end of the day, you should not compete with anybody. You should always compete with yourself only. You should try to be always make yourself today better than yesterday and make your tomorrow better than today. And only you can do that. The moment you commit that I'm gonna be better because I owe it to myself, not for anybody. You owe it to yourself to become better every day. It also changes. And this will give you actually everything. If you started, changing your mind and having control of it, actually the blessings will overflow your life. It's life changing. And as we go on, I'm going to teach you more how I did it. So, what are the other things? Your mind learns and communicates through vision, sound, and feelings. Okay, let me explain to you briefly. Okay, it's going to be part of the next session. I'm going to teach you about the power of the vision, the sounds, and the feelings. Thank you for listening and see you on the next session.